The more local you go, the more global your film will be. This is a phenomenon called glocal, and that is exactly what Raj B Shetty achieves with GGVV, and is the first reason why GGVV works so well, because they have explored local factors, local characters, local type of cinematography, local concepts, cultural elements, local lingo, everything about what happens in a particular small locality, and then getting into the gangster world of it is what makes it so damn exciting. For people to watch things such as the tiger dance, to watch a particular set of gangster characters going to a temple, going to the temple repeatedly in that same locality, playing cricket, all these things coming together with the, of course, the dramatic storytelling and the dramatic story that it is of the gangster world, is what makes it interesting. This is what worked for Angamali Diaries and gave it that completely local, unseen, untapped feel. It what happened with Minal Murli by taking the whole superhero concept extremely deep into a village, and that is exactly what happens here with Mangaladevi or Mangalore or whatever you want to call it. That locality and everything related to it, zooming into it and giving us a perspective of how that only that world works, is what makes GGVV an interesting movie to watch to begin with. Going on to reason number 2, of course, that is not enough, and a gangster movie existing is not enough. We've seen a lot of movies that do this, but none have ever taken the route of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, or Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. In this case, Hari, Shiva, and Brammayya. These are the three main gods of Hindu mythology. One is a creator, one is a destructor, and the way they have captured that mythology in this story is beyond epic. And this is not a secret, this is not something that is so subtle that someone does not understand it at all. We can clearly see an instance of the Shiv Tandav after complete destruction by Shiva, the anger of Shiva, the ruthlessness of Lord Shiva, all captured in the Shiva character, and exactly similar character arcs for Hari as well as Brammayya or Brahma. It is just phenomenal how they have gone through these layers to present a gangster story, which is actually three gods who are doing and going on their own journey, their own character arc, and kind of facing off each other and seeing, what their relationship is. If you think of this movie as gods creating a world and trying to maintain it with their own responsibilities, and what happens if something in their own ego conflict does not work well, or if their own relationships are not working well, or they are arguing against each other, what will happen to this world? If you think from that lens and go watch GGVV again, you will have a completely different movie. You will not watch it like a surface level gangster movie or something with subtle hints of the mythology. Your perspective can go anywhere with this movie and how this movie works. In that sense, GGVV becomes 10 times more interesting, because this is a world that is created by two gods. One is responsible for destruction of any element that goes against them. One is responsible for growth, development, all of that. And if that sort of keeps clashing time and again, what will happen? And does Brahma have to come in to control these two gods, to control the balance of the universe, to control the world? That is explored at a much deeper level and presented in nothing but a gangster story. So that is what makes this movie 10-20 times more interesting. And again, going back to the tiger dance aspect and the Shiv Tandav aspect, no secrets there, because the background music plays Mahadev, Mahadev, which is of course Lord Shiva, while he's doing the tiger dance, which is interpreted as the Shiv Tandav. It is just phenomenal the way this movie is written and is completely a treat to watch. No movie though is complete without unbelievable performances, and the performances by all three leads, I would say three not two, are phenomenal. The vulnerability shown by Brammayya in terms of being a cop but still being a human being, having a family to protect, being so suffocated by the situation, so vulnerable, so lost as what we would normally see as the strongest character in a movie like Singham, Dabang, all of these other gangster movies. Cops are strong, cops are not, they are fearless, they are courageous, they are ready to do whatever it takes to clean up the city. But here we have a cop that is so vulnerable, so broken, so scared, so timid, that does not know what to do, and how his journey and character arc and use of the brain more than the brawn is explode is just something else. And so me, that was one of my favorite performances actually, because it is underrated in this movie. Coming to the well-rated performances, of course, Raj B. Shetty, who also directed and wrote this movie with tremendous brain and capacity and talent, and who has done a completely opposite role in Vandu Motte Kathe, which I've also reviewed in my channel. Who would have imagined him doing such a fearful character, from Vandu Motte Kathe to his other movies, and his basic personality, seeing him so raw, gritty, scary, violent, angry, unbelievably natural performance by him. And then of course you have Rishabh Shetty, who has been acting in a few movies before this but was primarily a director producer. What a character arc by him as well, from the innocent, well behaved boy growing up and becoming a total gunda sort of, see, with full confidence, fearlessness, all of that. And all that character arc that he's explored is just something out of the blue, just unbelievable performances by all these characters. What adds on to these characters and these performances is everyone else being so natural. They've taken some people who are probably first time actors, non-actors, people that have not had so much exposure to film, but everyone has done so well to create and maintain this world that it is something else altogether. The background music, the theming, what music is applied on what sequences simply puts you in a very trippy feel. Sometimes the scene can be violent or showing death, but the music will be completely opposite, like a ballet orchestra or something like that, and your mind and your senses are being tingled in a way you have not imagined, because you're watching something and you're not used to have that background music playing on that kind of a scene. So all these factors that have been very carefully thought about make GGVV such an exciting project, such a well delivered project, that it has to be watched couple times, more than a couple times, to really absorb and let it sink in. Speaking of absorption and sinking in, this movie does no rush to tell the story, no over the top elements, no typical gangster thrilling elements to keep you on the edge of the seat. It's not about that thrill element, it's about showcasing the world of these characters. Therefore you will see the pacing is also letting you absorb the emotions, the plethora of emotions that are going on. It is letting you absorb it, and therefore you'll see that sometimes you feel like it's lagging, or sometimes you feel like the pacing is a little slow and you want to know what happens, but it's letting you absorb that sequence in its entirety. Because when you keep watching this movie a couple more times, you'll realize that you are watching and you don't want the scene to end, because there's so much happening and you are getting time to think of the journey of the character and what he's feeling right now, staying with the character. These things have all been taken care of. Very rare to see in cinema, and that is why this movie has done so well, is getting so many good reviews, and is such a high quality content that it has so many layers. You can keep peeling and peeling and peeling like an onion, and you watch this for the rest of your life and find something new to discover. Of course, I love GGVV, and I think these are the top 3 reasons why this movie works the way it does. So I hope you like this video. I hope you like this review. I'm going with 4 stars for GGVV. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and keep watching for much more.